Well, just when we thought we were going to get some Overwatch League action, huh? Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia here, and welcome back to the Overwatch League Roundup 2020. So, you can hear my dejected voice. Overnight for me, I was asleep. They have cancelled week 7 of the Overwatch League. So, in week 7, we were due to see the San Francisco Shock, the 2 Los Angeles teams, and the Seoul Dynasty. Now, why has it been cancelled? It's because there is a shutdown in California. The authorities there have issued a shelter-in-place order. So what this means is that basically people are not to go out unless it's for essential stuff like food. And also this means that only essential services are actually in action at the moment. So anything that is not exempt from like public safety or healthcare operations have to pretty much shut down at the moment, unless you're like a delivery service for food or stuff like that, grocery stores. So obviously the Overwatch League was going to an online format, and people are saying, well, hold on a minute, they were playing at home, so they're not traveling, so why does this affect them? Well, because the Overwatch League have to broadcast it, and they also have to enforce refereeing for this and stuff like that. So basically they are a business, and they are continuing to trade during that period of time when basically non-essential stuff shouldn't be happening. So the Overwatch League have kind of had their hand forced here. And I think the main issue for this is the actual broadcast, because Watchpoint broadcast and everything like that is done in LA. So this, I think, is where it's come unstuck, and this is actually extremely worrying. There is no end date for this state order in California. So, for the foreseeable, I am assuming that the broadcast in LA cannot go ahead because of it, you know, it would be Blizzard business going ahead and it's not allowed, right? So, if there's no broadcast like Watchpoint, like the halftime break, like crunch time, then we aren't going to see any Overwatch League because they need that broadcast. So, this is a very significant point going on here. If this state order lasts 4 weeks, which perhaps we might expect it to, then the matches due to take place in the next couple of weeks, remember we were meant to see 16 matches next week and then 20 from then onwards, are in extreme doubt right now. And if they don't go ahead, we are looking at a major scheduling issue for the Overwatch League. So if they don't go ahead, then we are not looking at any matches between now and midway through the season, and the season's midpoint is week 13. The week 14 was meant to be when we were meant to be going back to a homestand format. That is looking increasingly unlikely considering the turn of events in not only Europe but America, and therefore I would expect by then perhaps not too much to change, because this virus, COVID-19, is not under control. So a lot of people are not expecting it to be dealt with by then either, so I'm not expecting homestand to return then. So then you've got to rearrange that, and it becomes very difficult. If homestands were to go ahead, then you could perhaps mash some of these games into extra homestand games, or if the homestands don't go ahead, then you can go through that 20 game a week thing in the second half of the season. It's going to be an incredible amount of matches though. And I worry for fatigue and stuff like that for players. Yes, I know they're not traveling. Yes, I know there's stuff like that. But they weren't playing this amount of matches when they were just based in LA. And so it's worrying. Now, another option, and I've been thinking about this, you know, extensively myself, thinking about what options the Overwatch League has. And another option is to move the entire schedule that hasn't been played for the first half of the season to the end of the season. So the season was meant to end on August the 10th in Los Angeles. So it was a Valiant homestand. What they could do is move all of the unplayed matches till after that point and extend the season. There are a few issues and caveats with that. Obviously, you'd have to push the playoffs back, so that's an issue in itself. And it would also have very, very serious implications for the Overwatch World Cup. So we are very used to seeing the Overwatch World Cup in late October, early November at BlizzCon. And if the league gets substantially pushed back, which you're looking at like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks worth of matches to be played after that week 27, after that August the 10th period, you are starting to leave very, very little time for Overwatch World Cup teams to be prepared for BlizzCon and the Overwatch World Cup if it was to maintain its original schedule. So that is kind of bleeding into another video right there about the Overwatch World Cup. But if that was to happen, and the VP of the Overwatch League in the Watchpoint broadcast not that long ago did say it's not out of the question to extend the 2020 season, then the Overwatch World Cup would either have to be moved or cancelled. And do people really want to see that? I really don't know. The other possibility is, if we don't have the Overwatch World Cup, then we could host the Overwatch League finals at BlizzCon? Maybe. But it's all presumptions at this point. But if this is the issue, you know, causing the Overwatch League to postpone this weekend's matches, which is looking likely, it's not just a travelling issue in California. It looks like their business part of it, their Watchpoint broadcast, can't go ahead because it would be business operations that basically aren't allowed to go ahead at the moment in California. If that is the issue, then this could have a knock-on effect to the rescheduled matches we were going to see in the coming weeks. And therefore it could have a serious knock-on effect for the rest of the season. We are at a very critical point in this saga, if you want to look at it that way. There are a lot of issues to be ironed out. We are waiting on an Overwatch League announcement in regards to rescheduling of these fixtures. I have no idea what they're going to do next. I really don't, and I have no idea. I mean, I've given my points on where they could go with it, but it's very hard to tell where they will go. So I think all we can say is sit tight and wait for news. That's all I can say right now. Obviously, this just changed my plans for videos. Today was meant to be the Week 7 preview. There is no Week 7, so not only will there not be a Week 7 preview, there will not be a Week 7 results, and there will not be a Week 7 Team of the Week. So those videos are off the table for early next week now. I will find some more videos to put in their place, I'm sure I will. Especially with Echo out. But yeah, this is becoming a significant issue, and it's becoming more and more difficult to find nice solutions to this. So there are going to be some difficult decisions to make, I think, for Overwatch League in the coming weeks, and it'll be interesting to see where they go. Obviously, if this continues on for a significant amount of time, and I mean, I'm talking well into the summer, we're in July and we're still having things cancelled, I think there has to be the realistic possibility that the Overwatch League 2020 gets cancelled entirely and null and voided. Obviously, we don't want to see that, but I think there has to be something that is on the table if this is going to be a long-term issue. Now, that is obviously an extremely, extremely worst-case scenario. And I don't want to, you know, panic people or anything like that. But I, honestly, in myself, this is not me taking it not seriously or anything like that, but I don't think this will continue into the winter, as some people are predicting. But again, I'm no professional. It's just what I'm looking at in terms of the infection rate slowing in Korea and China. So we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of months, but it looks like it's going to be a tough couple of months. So all we can do is keep an eye on the Overwatch League Twitter, on the Overwatch League website, and see what happens. But, of course, as always, health comes first, safety comes first, and that's the right thing to do by everyone. So we can't really argue too much with these announcements, especially with this cancellation coming really not from the Overwatch League, but from California and its authorities. There's not much the Overwatch League can do when orders like this are put out. So that is where we are at. Not much to say really. If you're looking for Overwatch esports action, please check out Overwatch Contenders. There is plenty of awesome stuff going on there. There are a lot of Overwatch League Academy teams going around, like Team Envy, the Paris Eternal Academy, British Hurricane, the Academy team of London Spitfire. So there's plenty of action to look at there, which will not be affected by them at the moment. Because the Contenders broadcasters are based in Germany, I believe, or were in week 1. So we will see what happens, but that's all I have for now, and I'll be back with the Overwatch League when we know more, which hopefully won't be too long. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.